Hey, brothers and sisters. Isn't it interesting the amount of wars and rumors of wars that we are seeing in the news exactly as Jesus predicted in Matthew 24? Now, it is my personal opinion that any talk of nuclear war will not take place until the tribulation. And why do I say that? Well, because the church is the restrainer. We are restraining lawlessness. It also says in Revelation 6 that peace is taken from the earth, that men should fight one another and kill one another. In order to have all-out war, you have to have a false peace. I believe this false peace is brought on by the rapture of the church, in which the Antichrist steps in and promotes this false peace starting the tribulation. And then further along into the seal judgments, we will see something similar to nuclear war. But getting back to the idea of wars and rumors of wars that Jesus talked about as signs to look for his soon return, Mike Adams reports that according to an announcement published by Russian news agency, the USA is pushing Russia into a cycle of nuclear escalation that could end in catastrophe. As Russian Foreign Ministry spokesman stated, quote, "After provoking an escalation of the Ukrainian crisis and unleashing a violent hybrid confrontation with Russia, Washington and its allies are dangerously teetering on the brink of an open military confrontation with our country, which means a direct armed conflict between nuclear powers. Clearly, such a confrontation would be fraught with nuclear escalation." Now, note the key points of this statement. Number one, the assertion that the West is provoking the escalation of the crisis in Ukraine. Number two, that the West is pushing toward an open military confrontation with Russia. And number three, that confrontation would seemingly end in nuclear escalation. This can only mean the launch of nuclear missiles. Now remember that Russia has vastly superior nuclear strike capabilities and anti-air defenses compared to the United States and European nations. On top of that, Russia's military doctrine describes a first strike advantage, which means Putin knows that if this war is irreversibly headed into global conflict, his strategic advantage is best exploited if he strikes first. Russia's military doctrine also requires striking with overwhelming nuclear superiority from the very first moment, meaning such a scenario would likely not be limited to small tactical nuclear strikes on the battlefield. Most likely, a first strike would target 10 U.S. cities and military bases, reducing those areas to radioactive rubble. You can be certain that Washington, D.C., Houston, Denver, L.A., New York City, Seattle, Miami, and Chicago are first on that list. Russia's missiles can easily reach all targets in the northern hemisphere. So again, just a reminder that Jesus said in the last days there will be wars and rumors of wars, and I believe this will continue until after the rapture of the church, when this war will become a reality, when peace, as the seal judgments describe, is taken from the earth. And then after that, we see a result of the wars, mass death, which is another result of the seals being broken. Brothers and sisters, we know that there can be little conflicts, but it is my personal opinion that the church is restraining this all-out warfare, and we need to continue to pray that people come to the Lord Jesus Christ.